Well, hello. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing great. Welcome in. This is a reading for the collective. Let's see what's going on. Just take part of this reading, whatever resonates with you. That's my job, is to try and channel through whatever messages want to come through, and then you work with me by using your intuition to understand which part of this reading or the whole reading is for you. All right, tomorrow in Pathfinders, I am starting a year-long journey with you to help you align and understand and harness your intuition. Some of you have been asking me to do this for, I don't know, 3 years now. So we're going to talk about what intuition is and what it is not, and how to get a sense of your own, okay, so that you can trust it in the middle of a hurricane. All right, let's see where we go. What wants to come through? If you want to jump onto Pathfinders, link is below. Okay. Deliver your greatest gift to the world. Some of you doubt yourself all the time. And that's one of the things that when you understand intuition, the biggest killer of dreams and the biggest killer of your intuitive voice is your own self-doubt. Do you know why that is? Because someone told you to, right? Someone said, you can't believe that nonsense, that all that, airy fairy stuff, stop dreaming, get out there and rake the yard, like stuff like that. I definitely hear that voice. So while raking the yard has its place, intuition does too. And only those who are really terrified of it, because they probably can't hear their own, say things like that. So 3, 2, 1, jump. This is my favorite card. This is my card. 3:21 a.m. is my birth time. So anytime I see that, I want to share with you that it really is time to take that leap of faith and share your greatest gift with the world. I have been beating that drum for a few years as well. So ask wonderfully, receive graciously. When you are in that moment of time, it's almost like you're at the top of a diving board or the top of a ski jump, and it's like you're going to have to push off at some point, right? You're going to have to take that first step. And in many, many ways, that's the most terrifying part, because gravity will take you the rest of the way, right? Other forces at work. And that's kind of like the thing that stops people, because the other forces at work, like, I can't control that. So I don't know, if I jump off this diving board, will I land over, 2 towns away? No, there are certain predictable pieces of jumping off a diving board or doing a ski jump that you will learn over time from doing it. But you do have to do it. Okay, you can't, it's not a theoretical experiment. It's not something you can read about, although you can read about techniques and you can do all that stuff. But at some point, you got to get to the end of that diving board and jump. All right. And figuratively or spiritually speaking, getting to the end of that diving board and making that jump, what you're doing then is you're part of that co-creative universe. You're bringing skill to it. You're bringing your body to it. You're bringing your coach's help to it, or teacher's help, or whatever like that. But you're then in it, right? You're then in it. And this idea of ask wonderfully and receive graciously. Now it's sort of like, okay, this is what I did when I moved away from my old life and I started this channel. I was like, I don't know where this is going. I kind of still don't. Like, there's a lot of other stuff that is showing up for me on the path, because I'm asking and saying, okay, what's next here? What's next here? Thank you for that. What's next here? Bring opportunity, bring opportunity. Keep saying yes, keep saying yes. Okay. And that's the process. That is the process that you're working with. And we learn a whole lot of other things on this channel and from other guides and teachers that you have, like our job, all of us who are teachers and guides and healers on this planet, is really just to do our piece. We're putting our piece of the puzzle in, and you have this complexity. So you need other stuff out there, but I'm here to tell you the thing you most need is right in here. It's right in here. It's not only your heart, it's not only love, it's love for yourself, but it is about your connection. because all the answers are right in here. And when you go, wow, is she spot on? That reading is spot on. You know how you know that? Because your intuition's telling you that. So it's you. Remember that. All right. So let's see what else wants to come through. What else wants to come through today? Woo. Okay. Woo. Jumping. Lots of jumping. I keep getting this jumping. What is going on here? Some of you are taking a leap of faith right now. Some of you are. I don't get this. I mean, I can see someone like wading into a lake or wading. It's more like wading into the ocean. We're not talking about like a still kind of body of water that you can see the bottom in, or that you can see what's swimming around in there. This is more like the ocean, or more like the Mediterranean, like a big sea. Okay. The Mediterranean waters are just so beautiful. This is kind of like Mediterranean waters, right? So, but there's something about like having that self-confidence to take that leap. I think some of you might need to hold somebody's hand, and that's totally fine. That person will arrive, will show up. Ask for them to show up. Okay, ask for them to show up. All right, so what else wants to come through here today? 9 of Wands, Page of Swords, 8 of Wands, the Death card, Knight of Pentacles, Hermit. Some of you have been on your own for so damn long. The world, that's over, baby. Ace of Cups coming in. So I feel like this is the first step. This is kind of like, okay, I've been through the wars. This is the Wounded Warrior card. I've been through the wars, and like messages are trying to come through, but you're like, I don't really trust this. It just seems like a bunch of sticks flying through the air. I don't really trust this. Messages are trying to come through, but there is something. It's almost like a guide. Like I was just talking about, a teacher or a guide. And it can be someone you've never met before. Some of you I've never met, or someone comes across your path and they may be not a friend or anything like that, but they just say something. Or this is why those memes sometimes on Instagram and on Pinterest make so much difference to people, because messages show up when you need them to show up. That's part of your intuition too, is like receiving it. So if you're going through the world like so closed off, right? So closed off. Some of you have like been the hermit for a long time, and just like, okay, tote that barge and lift that bale, not getting drunk and landing in jail, right? There's something that's been very hardworking. That's Virgo energy. And it's like spirit that's trying to come through. This is Scorpio, and Scorpio is connected to Pluto. And Pluto in your birth chart, your own Pluto, Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus are generational planets. They are spiritual planets. There are spiritual aha moments. They're the door to another realm or other realms, right? For the longest time, we only saw as far as Saturn. That's as far as our telescopes could take us, right? And then science improved on things, and then we have Chiron going between Saturn and Uranus, but we also have Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And those are far out there, and they are slow moving. They have weird orbits, okay? And this is really about, instead of just the things that are on the ground here, the personal planets, and then the social planets, Jupiter and Saturn, how you interact with other people. That's going to be important, how you interact with other people. But it's like taking in the lessons of the past, I'm going to say 15 years, going back to 2008. Really, really seeing what these lessons, what this has been like. Okay. And really starting to incorporate it, because I feel like now there's a closure to that cycle is over. We are going to have a small reprise of the Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn energy, September, October, and most of November this year. So we'll talk about that as we get closer. And I have talked about that quite a lot already. If you want to look at the readings I did about that, you might want to try that. There's the playlist right here. I feel like love is turning this around, and it can be the love of the right partner. Whatever the lessons have been, it's like the reward for the work. Saturn leaves a gifty, and Saturn rules Capricorn, even though we're talking about Pluto. Pluto is transformation and change from a cellular level, from a shadow work level, right? Deep stuff. And so Pluto transiting through Capricorn, there's Saturn influence there too because of Capricorn. And so Saturn says, eat your vegetables and go to bed at a reasonable hour. And when you do that, you get rewarded. So those of you, even if you felt like, oh man, you felt like this wounded warrior coming through the last 15 years or so, I'm here to tell you that there's this energy is lightening up, especially for those of you who have been through the wars and have had that going on. It's really time for you to put that knowledge or work or lessons or whatever it is into practice. You're not standing at the end of that diving board anymore. Like, let's put it in. Okay. 4 of Wands. I love it. 10 of Swords. Yep. 2 of Wands. We're done with a cycle. Some of you have been betrayed. Some of you have had a lot to deal with. Some of you have had narcissistic partners, toxic partners, have had some really, I've heard you in Pathfinders, you guys tell me what's going on. So I know there's a lot to deal with. And you can hang on to it and pretend like I need to carry all this around with me. It's almost like the garden gate. It's almost like the gate, Guardians at the Gate. I'm getting Guardians at the Gate. Something like that. Like there's a moat. There's a battlement. I'm definitely keying into some of you who have had past lives as warriors. And think about like Knights of the Round Table, the Knights Templar. Think about the movie, the Lord of the Rings. Think about they're on horses and they got bows and arrows and axes and spears and stuff like that. This is like up close and personal, not to put anything off on people who are fighting in the last century, because seriously, fighting and being a warrior. But I don't feel like I feel like you're carrying some of that energy with you, that there has been like 10 arrows in your back at some point. All right. But this is like choosing something different. 4 of Wands. And this is a choice card. 2 of Wands. This is choosing something different. It's like choosing to walk away from that. All right. I'm moving this around. Okay. Let's see what. All right. So Judgment. This is the universe like trying to break through. And some of you have been hiding in a bunker. Understandably. Okay. Understandably. But what you're also doing is you're cutting off your intuition. You're cutting off your creative flow. You're cutting off your gifts. You're cutting off all those things in favor of, okay, just don't hurt me anymore. Okay. Which totally I get. But when we do that when we're children, we don't have any other choice. But as grown-ass people, we have choices. And no matter what the circumstances, your main choice is how to respond to what's going on right now. Change how you respond, and the things around you change. Change how you look at the world, and the things around you change. Are you looking through the lens of trauma? Or have you transmuted that into wisdom? So you're not like, oh, I'm not paying attention to any of those lessons and I'm just going to open myself wide up and, and then get hurt again. And then like, oh, people are terrible. No. When you've lost your trust, the trust you've lost is the trust in yourself. When you learn to trust yourself, even in the midst of battle, okay, even in the midst of those situations, that's what saves you. To know, to instinctively know. As we talk about intuition more and more over this next year, we are coming into the age of Aquarius, and the age of Aquarius is about you knowing, an inner knowing through whatever channels we're going to talk about. We're talking about all the channels that you can possibly connect to guidance and how to use them, how to develop them. Because at the end of the day, there's teachers and all that will still exist. Okay? But you've got to be the one who's moving yourself around. Okay? We're not giving over our power anymore We are the power. So how'd we get here? Queen of Pentacles, part of your intuition guidance system is being grounded. If you're up in your head, anxious all the time, not getting guidance. Okay? You're not getting guidance. Your intuition is actually in your body. Okay? And where we're going, we're going to put some time and effort into this. 7 of Pentacles, that looks awesome to me. This is the past. Remember, like giving over our power to a pope or a priest or something. Those people will still exist, but now it's the people, it's you guys who have to bring it to the table, bring your own intuition to the table so that you can know what's right for you, what is meant for you. Because not everything is meant for you. We're not talking about mass, movement in terms of like do this and then thousands and thousands. We're not doing that anymore. Okay, we're not. Where are we here? The Strength card, going to take some courage. Queen of Swords, the future. The Knight of Swords, the past. 3 of Swords. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's something that you have to let go of. There is something that you have to let go of. There might be a relationship in your life right now. There might be something that you have spent a lot of time being with, dealing with, maybe a commitment that has gone on too long. The fact is that in this next time period, I think there's also going to be some rage. There's some rage to deal with here. Okay, about how much time did I spend in that 9 of Wands place? Yeah, healing your heart. Healing your heart, please, by the next holiday. There's definitely an opportunity coming. I mean, the next holiday is Valentine's Day. I don't know if y'all think that's a holiday or not, but it's certainly a cottage industry, right? So, but you could think about like the vernal equinox. You can think about anything you celebrate, maybe a birthday or anything like that. There's definitely some awareness coming in from this is Archangel Gabriel. This is Archangel Michael. There's some awareness coming into you about esteem, self-confidence. These are the things you need to jump off that diving board. Okay? Esteem and self-confidence and an inner knowing, right? And that comes from a learning, maybe from a guide, from a teacher. It comes from applying your effort. It comes from trial and error. It comes from you understanding what intuition feels like, sounds like, understanding what is fear. There's a reason for fear, okay? Because a lot of us have walked into those doors. A lot of us have allowed people in our lives that haven't been kind or even positive. And these are the things of the past. All due respect to Taurus here. These are the things of the past that we're not going to be handing over our power to another person. So relationships are going to look different. And I know that this is definitely part of my own journey because I've studied quite a bit on my own chart. And what we're talking about here is love another's in so that they feel free. So there's something about freedom and independence and loving connection. There's some kind of new model that twin flames are definitely part of. Okay? And that's why the whole idea about being in separation is needing to be healed. The awareness that you're never really in separation, but also this kind of like I'm only a half of a whole. All those ideas are gone, right? They all need to go. This is more about nurturing the growth of another person and being secure enough to let them thrive, okay? Without the old trappings of the way we've done relationships in the past. I'm not even going to really talk about institutions of marriage or anything like that. I really feel like those things we will create something that makes sense in in an age of Aquarius kind of way over the next 20 years. Okay. I don't think this is going to take 100 years. I think it's going to take 20 to maybe 30 years for us to kind of, this isn't working for us. And the people who are the early adopters of that are the twin flames. Okay. The twin flames are the ones who are saying, you know what? I've had this, been there, done that. There's not, I've learned from it though. I'm not just shoving it down. I'm not just like I used to. I used to just shove it down. Not doing that anymore. Not doing that anymore. So we're going to go deeper into this reading. I'm going to look more at this timing and what's going to be happening. I'll give you guidance around any kind of blocks, what you don't see coming, and where are we going with this story. Okay? Link is below. See you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.